Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. Today we're going to tackle a screen cap study of one of the most iconic scenes from Disney's Snow White. The moment when Snow White lies in her glass coffin surrounded by the beauty of nature and the prince kissing her to break the spell of the poisoned apple. I am so excited for the screen cap study. It's going to be probably one of my favorites, and you will see why in a little bit. So let's get the party started. Let's get it started. Not just kidding. But let's get the party started, alright? Let's do this. So I actually did a digital sketch instead of doing the sketch by hand, so it would save me some time and also prevent the video from being a little too long for you guys. And once the digital sketch was done, I then saved it as a PNG image and printed it. I then went ahead and added painter's tape to my paper. Before I did that though, I put the tape on my arm and massaged it to remove some of the tape's tackiness and stickiness. This prevents the paper from getting ripped while removing the painter's tape, because since I was going to use wet art mediums, the tape prevents the paper from warping. And when I do remove the tape, it will add like a picture frame look to it, making it look more professional. Plus, removing painter's tape to me is like the most satisfying thing in the entire world. I also had a reference of the screen cap study on my phone so that I wouldn't leave anything out, from the details down to the color scheme. As we move to the coloring process, as you guys can see me do now, I used mostly colored pencils for this drawing, which was pretty shocking. But yeah, mostly colored pencils. I did use my Kuretake Zig brushables. I used my Prismacolor Premier colored pencils, obviously, and my Prismacolor Premier alcohol markers, as well as my Tombow dual brush pen, my brown one, and a little bit of the light gold one. And I used my Copic sketch marker in B05, which is processed blue. And I also used my Copic Ecrea acrylic marker in gold for the coffin. So yeah, I didn't really use a lot of materials, which is what I thought I was gonna do, but turns out I didn't really need to. And I know I said I was gonna use wet art mediums, but I lied. I didn't actually use anything wet because, like I said, I didn't use a lot of stuff. I used the combination of the colored pencils on the skin a little bit, and the reason why I used colored pencils was because I wanted this to look soft yet natural, and I also wanted a little bit more intensity on the colors, which is really hard to achieve with markers. As I worked my way through the coloring process, I wanted to create a sense of depth and dimension. I'm gonna butcher this one, I swear. Dimensionality, I think I said it right, while also maintaining the delicate, dreamlike quality of the original scene. As I colored the scene for you guys, I am going to dive into some Disney fun facts and tell you more about the drawing. I will be jumping back and forth between the two, so bear with me. And if you saw my YouTube post, I will tell you what the reason is behind me doing the screen cap study. So here we go. For those of you who don't know, Snow White was released way back in 1937. That's right, 1937. Snow White was the first full-length animated feature film produced by Walt Disney himself. It was a groundbreaking achievement that set the standard for future animated films, making Snow White the first Disney princess and the movie that started it all. That's right. I mean, the Disney Animation Studios, it is 101 years old today. This year marks 101 years. But Snow White was really the movie that made Walt Disney a household name. The movie tells the story of Snow White, which is a well-known fairy tale by the Grimm brothers, talking about a beautiful princess who is forced to flee her kingdom when her stepmother, the evil queen, becomes jealous of her beauty. Snow White finds refuge with a group of lovable dwarfs who teach her the value of friendship and hard work. Now here's a fun fact. This is gonna blow your mind. Did you know that Snow White is actually the youngest Disney princess? She's 14 years old. According to Disney Fun Facts, she's 14 years old. That's crazy. But the evil queen, I'm gonna give you guys another fun fact. The evil queen's real name is Grimhilda. Is not one to give up easily. Disguising herself as an old hag, she offers Snow White a poisoned apple that puts Snow White into a magical sleep known as the Sleeping Death, and the spell could only be broken by love's first kiss. Fun fact, actually, the Evil Queen is actually my favorite Disney villain, and one year for Halloween, I dressed up as a modern day version of the Evil Queen. Like, I bought a t-shirt from Amazon that said Evil Queen, and I wore a tiara, because if we could put the Evil Queen in today's world, I think that's what she would wear. But yeah, I just kind of like did that. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is a timeless tale of good versus evil, friendship, and the power of true love's kiss. With its memorable characters, catchy music, and stunning animation, it's no wonder that Snow White remains one of Disney's most beloved Disney classics of all time. Now, you guys will see, jumping into the drawing a little bit, you guys will see that I actually colored the flowers and the leaves with colored pencil, but I don't know what happened that all of a sudden the clips were not recorded. So I apologize for that, you guys, but I did color those in. I just don't know what happened to the clips. So, yeah. Anywho, back to the fun facts. So if you're feeling nostalgic for a bygone era of Disney magic, or if you're introducing this classic tale to a new generation, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is a must-see film that will continue to enchant audiences for many generations. Now, we're going to get into the actual reason that inspired me to do this Screencap study in the first place. Recently, if you guys have followed Disney on YouTube or Instagram, Disney came out with the trailer for the live-action movie adaptation of Snow White. I know, it's insane! Oh my gosh. That trailer inspired me to create this video in the first place, and I might do another Snow White Screencap study video as we get closer to the premiere. I might do that. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see that happen. And believe it or not, since 2022, there's been some conspiracy of this movie being released, and to see that it's actually gonna happen makes me super excited, you guys. I am so excited for this movie, and the movie actually comes out in March of next year. I am so excited. Get ready to revisit a timeless classic in March of 2025 in a whole new way. The trailer for Disney's upcoming live-action remake of Snow White has finally dropped, and it's giving us, and me personally, a glimpse into a magical world of wonder and enchantment. Starring Rachel Zegler as Snow White and Gal Gadot as the Evil Queen. If you don't know who they are, you can actually see Rachel Zegler on Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, and Gal Gadot is mostly famous and well known. If for any of you who are fans of the DC universe, she is mostly famous and well known for being Wonder Woman in the DC Comics universe. She was Wonder Woman in, obviously, Wonder Woman, the first movie, and Wonder Woman 1984, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League. This reimagining of the timeless Disney classic promises to bring a fresh spin to the beloved fairy tale, with its stunning visuals, catchy music numbers, and star-studded cast. I mean, just look at the two female roles. You cannot get pretty all-star with that. This movie is shaping up to be a must-see event of 2025, and I hope that that's true. In the trailer, we can see that the film will stay true to the original story, while also introducing some exciting yet new elements, and possible new characters, which I'm pretty curious to see. We do catch glimpses of Snow White's iconic yellow and blue dress, the Seven Dwarfs' adorable antiques, and the Evil Queen's dramatic transformation into an old hag, which, by the way, I am very curious to see how they are going to do that. I am very curious to see how the special effects department is going to be able to do that, because I think that that's going to be super complicated, and even makeup is going to get, it's going to get pretty heavy. I can already imagine. And you can best believe that I'm going to watch all the interviews leading up to the movie. But another thing that I'm really curious about for this new movie is the soundtrack and of course the dwarves, and of course the special effects. But what really stands out is the film's commitment to empowering its female lead, which in this case is Snow White. As Rachel Zegler herself has said in an interview, this version of Snow White is all about giving the princess a function beyond just waiting for her prince to come, like she does in the original movie. And I can't wait to see how this plays out on the big screen. Now, we're going to dive a little deeper here. So far, the Disney princesses who have had a live-action adaptation of their stories are Aurora, of course, in the Maleficent movies, Cinderella, Belle, Jasmine, Mulan, and Ariel. And it is about time that Snow White gets her time to shine, having her story come live action. Let me know in the comments down below what other Disney princess you would like to see have a live action adaptation, because I think all of them deserve a chance to have their story be told through a live action story. I love Disney's choice in casting Rachel Zegler, because from what I've read on Google News, and I have done my research, there's been a lot of talk that it was between her and Jenna Ortega, but in the end, Rachel Zegler, she got the role. And when I Googled more about her, this is gonna blow y'all's mind. It turns out she is actually a Latina. What? According to Google, she is actually Colombian. She's Colombian American. And I don't know about you guys personally, but it makes me so happy to see people my ethnicity, my ethnicity, which is Hispanic and Latino, to pretty much have their moment to shine, be it in sports, be it in film and TV, of course, be it in politics, whatever it is. It really does, it makes me happy, you know? It just it excites me, you know? Disney casting her as Snow White just goes to show you that they are all about being diverse and casting people from other cultures and ethnicity for roles. And I know that a lot of Latina little girls, more specifically Colombian little girls, are going to look up to her as a role model. Just like, for example, when Halle Bailey was casted for Ariel back in 2023, a lot of black little girls and a lot of black girls looked up to her because she was the first black actress to be a Disney princess, which is super, just historic and groundbreaking, and yeah, I love it. I love it. My ethnicity is actually Mexican American, but I feel like I can relate to Rachel Zegler in some ways, because all of us in the Latino community, for those of you who are Latinos, I think you guys are going to agree with me on this one. We are considered to be the underdog in everything that we do. But when we become the first anything, it truly does make us feel seen and heard. I mean, just look at Xochitl Gomez. She was the first Latina superhero in the Marvel Universe. For those of you guys who've seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, she made history by being the first Latina superhero. And I love that she made Marvel history. And I will say this to everybody out there because this is important. We need to pay attention to more Latino voices all over the world and even support them in what they do. Be it in sports, be it in film and TV, politics, etc., because when you listen to those people, you are doing more than that. You're actually showing your support, showing that you care and that you're aware of all those people who are worth listening to. So for this next bit, you guys, I am going to get a little personal because the topic of diversity is very personal to me, because as someone who is from the Latino community, to me, just like every other race out there, be it Black, Asian, Native American, Hindu, whatever race you are, we all have one thing in common, and that is the power of representation. And if there is a phrase that we hear very often, is representation matters. Those two words put together, they hold a lot of power, because diversity is more than just race to me. But before we get into that, I'm going to dive a little bit more into the drawing. So I ended up using my brown Tombow dual brush pen for the coffin itself. And I think it came out really good. I really love how the brown just like popped, you know? Okay, now we're gonna dive into the diversity. The Latino community offers diverse perspectives, experiences, and insights worth listening to, and here is how. Cultural richness, vibrant arts, and culture. We Latinos have contributed significantly to music, dance, literature, visual arts, and cuisine. Now, going back to the coffin, we are now going into the gold part of the coffin, and I ended up first using my Uniposca gold paint marker, but for some reason, the gold, it just wasn't really poppy. You know, it didn't have the pizzazz. So I ended up doing the switch and used my Copic Acrea in gold. And I think that in the end, you know, the final result was pretty good. I did have to shake it and push up a little bit for the ink to come out, but luckily it didn't create a big splatter. Thank God. But yeah, I mean, that really helped me in doing the trick. Number 2, language and heritage. Spanish and indigenous languages are essential parts of Latino identity, which, by the way, English, French, and Spanish are like the 3 universal languages that are very, I would say, more similar. I would say, like you hear those a lot more often when you travel. In terms of social, economic impact, we Latinos, in terms of economic growth, are a significant contributor to the U.S. economy, with growing purchasing power and entrepreneurial spirit. Whenever you see an entrepreneur or a small business that's Latino-based, and you buy something from them, it means a lot to them because you either want to learn more about their culture or you're just, you know, doing something that you never thought you'd do. So, yeah. In terms of demographic influence, the Latino population is growing, making them a vital demographic in shaping America's future. In terms of social justice, Latinos are at the forefront of social justice movements, advocating for immigration reform, education, and health care. Personal stories and experiences. This is probably the most common, or actually it is the most common. Resilience and adaptability. Many Latinos have overcome obstacles, sharing inspiring stories of perseverance, showing their version of the American dream coming to fruition for them. Family values. Traditional Latino culture emphasizes strong family bonds, community and mutual spirit and support, identity and belonging. Latinos often navigate multiple cultures and ethnicities, offering unique perspectives on identity and belonging. Now, I kind of want to touch on this part a little bit more just because as a first generation Mexican American, I've come across people from other cultures and ethnicities, from people from the Philippines, people from, well, America, obviously, but mostly people who are from the Philippines. I have a friend who's actually Filipino, and she came to high school in sophomore year, and I got to learn a little bit more about her culture. Right now, she had to go back to the Philippines because her visa and her family's visas have expired, but I learned a lot about her culture, believe it or not. In terms of intellectual and professional contributions, innovation. Latinos are making strides in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math fields, driving innovation and progress. Leadership. Latino leaders are emerging in politics, business, education, and the arts. Academic achievements. Latinos are pursuing higher education, contributing to academic discourse and research. Community building. Strong social networks. Latinos often have close-knit communities, fostering their support and solidarity. Cultural events. Vibrant festivals, celebrations, and traditions bring people together. For example, building an altar on Dia de los Muertos. Community service. Latinos are engaged in volunteer work, improving their communities. You will see Latinos helping homeless people on the street, and you don't really see that a lot. And when we help other people in need, we're really doing God's work. Representation and advocacy. This is like number one. Diversity and inclusion. Latinos advocate for representation in media, politics, and institutions. You see it on the news every day. Social justice advocacy. Latinos push for equality, challenging systemic injustices. Obviously, we live in a world where racism is a thing and it will not go away. And when we push for equality, being treated equally, not just letting one person get away with something and not letting us get away with the same thing, that's truly powerful. We push for that. And last but not least, empowerment. Latinos inspire and support each other, fostering collective growth. By listening to the Latino community, we can gain valuable insights, appreciate diverse perspectives, and build stronger, more inclusive relationships. Before, and I actually got this from a documentary called I Am Vanessa Guillen. If you haven't seen that documentary on Netflix, I highly, highly recommend it. Or if you don't know who Vanessa Guillen is, you probably do know of her from the news back in 2020. But before, the Hispanic and Latino community was a sleeping giant. And sometimes it takes a little push or historic moment to wake it up. And instead of making racist comments and remarks, you should pay attention to what these people are actually doing rather than being ignorant and not even realizing all that is going on around you. Back to the matter at hand, the trailer may be just a taste of what's to come. We're already going back to the Snow White trailer. But like I said, the trailer may be just a taste of what's to come, but it's already got me hooked. I have officially seen it more than once, and each time it gets me more and more excited. With its perfect blend of nostalgia and innovation, Disney's Snow White is poised to become a modern classic. So, mark your calendars for March 21st of 2025 and get ready to fall under the spell of this enchanting fairy tale all over again. If you guys haven't seen the trailer for Snow White, don't worry, you guys. I will leave the link to it in the description down below so you guys can check it out. And as we near the premiere date, like I said, I might do another Snow White Screencap study to get us ready for the premiere. We are finally winding down to the last bit of the drawing, and as you guys can see, I actually used my Kuretake Zig brushables on the pillow and the little almost like mattress that Snow White is laying on in the coffin. And for that, and for the leaves on the flowers. But those were pretty much the only materials that I used on the coffin. I only used 2 colors, so I didn't really have to do much. And here I am now coloring in the leaves once again with a Kuretake Zig brushable. And this is a green one, I believe. I was super happy with the way this drawing came out. I was really, really impressed with it. And the fact that I did a digital sketch for it as opposed to sketching it by hand was super time efficient and super, super beneficial. I might end up doing that for future Screencap studies videos. Finally, for the sky, I used my Copic sketch marker in B05 Process Blue. I used mostly the brush tip side, but I did use the chisel side in a little bit, and you will see where. So I filled in that little itty bitty piece of sky where the Prince and Snow White lips meet. Fun fact, the Prince in Snow White, the guy is in his 30s. You guys are thinking, wait, what? Snow White is 14, yet her prince is 31? Yeah, that's actually his age, 31, which is crazy. When I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh. I did not know that. Disney just pumps these fun facts out of nowhere, you guys. They don't mention these fun facts in the movies, but when you read about them, be it on Disney Wikipedia or Disney fun facts, your mind immediately just blows up. You're like, So for the outlining of the sky, I used the brush tip of the marker, and it really helped me in making sure that the flowers were not stained with blue in the end, and I love doing that. Like, I love outlining different parts of the drawing. I actually took a different approach while coloring this drawing. I colored in the characters first, and then like different parts of the background and the night and the nature foliage, and then I colored in the sky. Normally I color the sky first in the drawing, but this time I decided to color it last just to, save me some time. And I also knew that I wanted to spend more time with the characters themselves and the nature foliage itself. So yeah, overall this drawing was really, really nice. And for the little like Latino community diversity bit, you guys, again, this topic, it's very, very personal to me as someone who is from the Latino community. And again, you guys, like I said, instead of making just like dumb racist remarks without even thinking, pay attention, listen to those voices, because you never know when you're gonna feel impacted by hearing people's stories. So as always, you guys, just pay attention to those voices. Don't be racist, don't be ignorant, and really just like pay attention. Overall, I think that mostly going with colored pencils for this drawing was the right choice, because like I said, you guys, I wanted to focus more on the color intensity, which like I said, is really hard to do with markers. But with colored pencils, it's just easier, And I'm not gonna lie, my hand was cramping, putting a lot of pressure on the pencils, but at the end of the day, it was worth it. Now we're moving on to the chisel tip, and I filled in the rest of the sky with the chisel tip, but I did end up going back with the brush tip in the end, just because, I had very little space, and I didn't want to ruin the drawing with the chisel tip. Let me know in the comments down below, you guys, what other screen cap study you would like to see me do next. So far, in terms of the Disney screen cap studies, I don't even know how many we have. I'll have to double check. But in terms of the Disney screen cap studies, the first one I know was Beauty and the Beast for sure, and then the second one was The Little Mermaid, and then the third one was The Lion King. So we have 3 Disney screen cap studies so far, and now this is going to be the 4th one, which is crazy. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what other Disney movie you guys would like to see me do a screen cap study of. I think it would be pretty interesting to see what you guys come up with. And as you guys can see, I ended up going back with the brush tip once again, just to fill in the rest of the sky, and also, it just saves me some time. I was really happy that I decided to go with mixed media, just because, I did end up using different products from different brands, different techniques as well. And yeah, and like I said, you guys, I didn't really use a lot of materials, which I was thinking I was going to, but in the end, I didn't. I only used, how many materials? I lost count now. But I used very little materials, which is pretty impressive. So yeah. And just like that, we are done with the drawing. Pretty much. Once the drawing was completed, I removed the painter's tape to reveal a picture frame to it. And I know there's some like white spots, but in the end, I don't think they didn't look too bad, so I didn't really need to go over them. And just like that, after peeling the painter's tape, which was a little teeny bit of a struggle bus, the drawing was complete. And you guys can probably see that the drawing, the filming part is higher. I recently got this gooseneck stand to help me film my videos a lot easier. And let me know in the comments down below if you guys think it worked. So yeah. This piece of tape I struggled because for some reason, some of the tape's tackiness was not removed properly, and some of the paper did come with the tape, but at the end, it didn't do much damage. And yeah, that was pretty much the final result. That's it for today's screen cap study of Snow White. Here is the final result. I absolutely love how this came out. I am so proud of myself. and I'm so excited for the new Snow White movie coming out on March 21st. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this artistic adventure, and I think this is probably one of my favorite Disney screencap studies so far that I've done. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorites. So, but again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me on this artistic adventure. If you guys like this video, be sure to like the video by hitting the thumbs up. Be sure to be nice in the comment section. If you are gonna comment, please be nice. Let's be lovers, not haters. And subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss some more fun and awesome videos and content from this beautiful girl right here, from yours truly. Also, I will leave the link to the Snow White trailer in the description box down below for you guys to check it out, and let me know in the comments down below what other screen cap study from a movie or a show you would like to see me do next. And until next time, you guys, bye y'all.